Islam family, peace and love. I actually have some questions. I have questions and I have um, fathers. What am I going to do with you? Okay. There are certain situations and certain things that we have not necessarily been taken into consideration, and I've been waiting for my spirit to kind of guide me in this area because our people have such high emotions in issues when it comes to their status, their rights, their authority over their children. Okay, and the issue that I'm having currently, Islam Manga Bay. Did I pronounce that right? Please correct me if I didn't. When you have children, here's the reality. Here's the crazy part that annoys me, really. It's when we have children, we don't, what's the word I want to say? It's like we communicate so much before we create these children, these beings. Before there is a relationship, there has to be communication. So how can communication not exist after the union or after the dissolvement of the union, especially when children are involved? And this goes to the fathers and this goes to the mothers. The condition of the child is the condition of the mother. The condition of the child is the condition of the mother. The condition of the child is the condition of the mother. You have to take that into consideration when you're thinking of nationality and when you're thinking of how to treat with natural law. Natural law reigns supreme over man's law. Man's law is based in, we're going over trust this week in terms of getting you competent and realizing what it is that you're doing. So you're not just blindly going into things out of fear, and have some knowledge behind you. Because I don't want anyone to sit here and blame anybody, any consuls, or anybody within the consulate for their lack of knowledge. So I'm always going to promote knowledge before I promote anything else, or before I even assist you with particular things that you would like me to assist you with. But here's the reality. We have to gain trust. We have to communicate, and we have to have unity. And if we can't have that communication and that unity within that particular family structure, how are you going to create any type of unity, or even not be able to separate your personal issues with that into your national structured family? And the reasons why I'm saying this is because you cannot sit here and circumvent mom, and you cannot sit here and circumvent dad. It's not a good idea, because the realities are a child needs both parents, regardless of the relationship you and her have. It is irrelevant. And so I'm going to get on you, sisters. I'm going to get on you, mothers. I'm getting on you because you have no rights to deny your child. Now let's talk about the rights of the child. That's in the Supreme Laws of the Land Handbook, which we're going to go over. The child has the right to see their fathers. That's regardless if they're giving you finance. The only reasons, your only justification for withholding access to the child is if he is a danger to that child. Outside of that, you are in dishonor. You are in dishonor, family. So get yourself out of the equation. We like to put ourselves in the middle of everything. The father and child relationship is between the child and the father. And how dare you as a mother forbid that because of financial fake fiat? And I'm going to get on you mothers, and I'm going to get on you fathers, because there's a lot of energy, negative, and the whatnot that you're causing as well. You don't understand, when you create a life of being, before you create that life of being, you are making an agreement. Regardless if it's any spoken word is a contract. It doesn't have to be written. You don't even have to sign it. You're speaking it. So when you sit here and say, and I'm going to get on you men for a second, and then I'm going to roll back over to the women. Everybody's going to get equal stuff here. when you sit here and say, I want to be with you, it's only you, baby, and all these sit here affirmations you were saying to a woman is taking that at its value, because that's the only thing she can take, because that's what you said. If you said you're going to be faithful to her, be faithful to her. If you said you were going to protect her, protect her. If you said you were going to take care of her, take care of her. That was a contract, verbal, that you made, and she's holding you to it. Also with women, if you're making a contract to do the same, do the same. Right? I was like, but y'all have to stop sitting here just randomly making children and then holding each other hostage. How you putting me in slavery because I created a child with you? How you sitting here subjecting me to perpetual burden debt that's not even real? You are in dishonor. We all are in dishonor in this. If you aren't worth your word, you're not worth anything. And that's true. And a lot of us haven't been worth our word for a long time. And we have to take responsibility for that. But the reasons why I'm sitting here, the reasons why I came on live today, because I wasn't going to, because I'm busy with a bunch of orders. I'm busy. I was like, but the realities are this, y'all. Fathers, you have to take the ancestral heritage of the mother into consideration. There are 2 nations on this earth. I'm not going to act like there's like a billion. There's different families, but there's 2 nations. You got the European Union, modern European Union, and you got the Moors. 2. Y'all want to put all those subclasses in there, and all those subclasses in there are 14th Amendment, not amendment people. That's what you are. They're 14th non-amendment people. So you can sit here, call yourself what you want, but these are the 2 things that represent your nation. Modern European, more. Modern European, more. And the person that determines your descendability is your mother, because she birthed you through her stargate. And you can sit here and feel however you got to feel, sons, because you've chosen people who are outside of your nation. And I'm going to let you ponder that, because I ain't pondering it for you. I'm just not doing it. The law treats to what is. Law does not need to be apologized for. It doesn't need to have it is what it is. You are what your mother is. But here's the reality. If mothers are not claiming nationality, now we go on with the issues where they're not accepting their nationality, and then the children are within that, because the condition of the mother is the condition of the father, is the condition of the child. So then you have this situation where the mother is incompetent to she's considered incompetent, because guess what? She is justifying remaining a slave based on ignorance, based on fear, based on social engineering, based on her colonized mind, right? So you can assist in that, right? But you have to at least have access to the children. But y'all should have a conversation, and you should not be trying to do it outside of her, because you're going to create friction and you're going to create more issues upon you. And if your children are under a particular age, you need to do that in one document. It doesn't need to be a specific individual document for each individual. So then there's a family nationality. So you're nationalizing your children that are under your nationality documentation. So if your children are under, let's say 5, or let's say about 18, where they can't make a conscious effort. But to be honest, at like 13, even though they try to say they can't get into contracts at age, you got to kind of go through the mother and the father. If they're clear who they are, they can sign for themselves and they can put the thumbprints for themselves. Right? But the condition of the mother is usually the condition of the child. So if you've created a child with an albion, with a modern European, that child is modern European because it came from her navel. It didn't come from you. You just helped her spark that energy. And y'all need to stop, sons, disrespecting mother by acting as if we just housed your seeds. That doesn't treat to natural law. Natural law does not support that ideology that you have, because that's what it is. It's based on absolutely no knowledge whatsoever. And I'm going to sit here and say this because I have to say this to you. The descendability is determined by the mother. The first being on this earth was mother. You could not even be here without her. So give her her respect and give her her honor. And give her her rightful place as the determiner of your nationality, because that's what she is. You can feel whatever you got to feel, sons, and that's your business. I can't help you with that. You got to deal with the exorcism. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you want to sit here and nationalize your children, talk to her first. Please talk to her first. And because you might get a favorable reply and she might let you do it. But here's the part. Here's the rub, y'all. Here's the rub. Your relationship that you have already, the decisions that you've made within that union, you have already created that energy. I can't sit here and say she's not going to speak to you, she's going to speak to you. I can't speak to anything in regards to your relationships because a lot of times we have put so much negative stuff out there. Some women just shut down, ain't got no time for you, and that's a bad thing. And she got to deal with that. And unfortunately, because the children's are under her care, they got to kind of deal with that a little bit too. But like I said, law treats with the woman. So if she's under subjugation, meaning she's saying I'm black and I'm black and I'm proud, right? Say that's what she's saying. And hold on, he says, my son is 22, but he has autism. So can I get him his nationality through me? He wouldn't understand the process. Yes, you would technically want to be his, kind of like a power of attorney almost, because he can't handle his own affairs. So you want to put him underneath you in terms of nationality, claiming it for him. Just, get his thumbprint, because so that's proof that it was him. You know what I'm saying? But what about his mom? What is she? Is she nationalized? Because we always got to look at mom. Even though mom is the one, family, power of attorney. Yeah, mom is the one who, who's the one that needs to know this information, and then it needs to push this forward, because we're the ones that create the children. We're the ones that create the children. She needs to be the one deliberated. So stop trying to circumvent her. Sit your butt down. Apologize for whatever you did. Y'all got to come to an agreement, because there's no unity without actual communication, right? I was like, because she could shut a lot of stuff down, and she's going to use those Romans to do that, because she's in dishonor and she's in sin still, and she can't treat to what you're saying. So you got to give her some information. You got to give her some knowledge. You got to kind of beat her down. You know what I'm saying, with this information. Let her feel it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, but we also got to keep in mind, we've chosen relationships based on colonization as well. So the people that we chose today probably would not be the same people if we knew who we are, we would be choosing. We probably wouldn't be choosing them. Only because we've been ignoring our astrology, because astrology oh no, queen, we are happily married and been together 28 years. Well, yeah. So why? My son is 22. He has autism. So he's under the mother. Y'all both nationalized, right? You and mom could have been right under mom's, because he is of dependency. So she could have done, if she did her nationality paperwork, she could have put him right underneath as her heir, and thumbprint with it. So boom, you're done. The child is now under her, and no ma'am, what? No ma'am, what? I'm confused. Oh, you saying no ma'am, your work? Oh, okay. Well, then put them both under you. We got to put them under your trust anyway. Put them under their trust. Like I said, we're working on family trusts, so we don't have to kind of duplicate efforts, especially if children are underage or not able to handle their own affairs. They would go under you. So you would literally be their power of attorney, for the lack of a better word, their trustee. I mean, they would be within your trust anyway. So everybody that's not nationalized, and everybody that's not claiming nationality within your family, put them in your trust. Put them in your trust. So anything that that the so-called corporate jurisdiction try to do, they got to go through your trust instead of trying to victimize your family. And we're working on how to put them under you. And it will probably have something to do with, you might be able to just get them to sign it. You just may be able to. But for the children, get the wife to do it. And sometimes you need to just do it. Print the paperwork out. Put it in front of their face. Be like, look, sign here, sign here, sign here, and just put the L on the paper behind it. Boom, get their thumbprint. And it's over. You know what I'm saying? Under your trust. But don't let them do it individually. if they're not willing to do it individually. So if you're nationalized and she's like, because I've had this, you know what I mean, where people say, oh, they don't want to nationalize. Well, then we need to put a verbiage either in the trust that we create for the family and put them underneath the trust, because I don't think you can nationalize them without their knowledge. I don't think you can kind of do that, but you can put them under your trust so they under your protection. But if the mother is not is claiming that black status, she can't forbid you to do anything because she's outside of law. Law does not treat to anyone outside of their proper person. So if she's saying no, I don't want nationality, and she being belligerent and all that kind of stuff, saying no, you can put the children under you, and kind of, like I said, we got to get the verbiage on this one right. So we got to get the verbiage on that nationality for the father, orphaning in the children, not orphaning in, custodial for custodial purposes. Yeah, I'm nationalizing my child. This is his new name, and the mother can't say anything about it because she's not. Law can't receive her because she's not within her proper person. So she can go to the corporate jurisdiction and try to do all her little nonsense Jackie stuff that she be doing to y'all, but she can't force that contract onto you because that's a contract on her. But you can pull your babies out so they're not subject to her crap that she's putting them in. And then they'll have to come through you and that trust. So that is what trust is all about us this week and next week. This week we want to have this stuff laid out. But I don't want to sit here, oh, can I get the trust document? No, you got to get competencies, y'all. These is degrees. We got to learn or get knowledge on the stuff that we need knowledge on so we can move as these competent heirs, because we are competent. We've proven we're competent because even in subjugation, we have been functioning, even though not right, but we still been functioning. You don't see us going around shooting people up like terrorists. You don't see us doing none of these crazy things to a degree like all of these other foreigners. So under subjugation, under colonialism, you've been doing great. So give yourself a pat on the back. Now just imagine how great you be doing with lawful stuff, which is where we at now. Lawful placement. So with the children, again, when we doing nationality paperwork, we need current photos. Like, I would take my photo right now behind a white wall. You always want to be behind a white wall. Right now, take a picture. And I need that picture. The picture is not only to prove you are the individual doing nationality, because there's a lot of fraud going around. So we have to do these things. There's a lot of Albions and foreigners that's trying to get in here through, fake nationality. So we have to screen individuals. And one of those screening is picture. Face characteristics don't lie. So then when we get a picture and now we're saying, oh, wait a minute, she or he might have an Albion matriarchal mother, so then the nationality paperwork is different. So you would have to put them in. You can't nationalize them as a Moor because they're not a Moor. They are what their mother is, and she's Albion, so they're Albion. You would have to put them under your trust. So they wouldn't necessarily be able to get nationality under Moors because that's not their descent. Their descent comes from their mother. You provided DNA, but the status of the mother is the status of the child in terms of ancestral heritage and hereditaments. So you would be able to put them under your trust, so nobody can seize them as body and booty and prize, and they no longer lost out to sea. They're under you. But they won't be able to get Moorish nationality. And if you do it, in the meantime, you're going to get some... That ain't got nothing to do with me. I leave Allah to do all that other stuff, because people do a lot of stuff to try to get certain things. But, ancestry is a very easy thing to determine. Blood determines it, because the blood you got running in your veins determines what land mass you originally originated. Right? So blood cannot lie. So even though you can lie, I can lie. Blood cannot lie. So do what you got to do. Just realize contracts and spells are intended for the purpose they're intended. So if you're Moor, nationalize. If you're not a Moor, you got to come through a different avenue in terms of nationality. And you got to be put in somebody's trust, a Moorish American's trust. to keep you until we treat to naturalization, which we're not currently doing. Our current responsibility is to our nation and to our people, and to get our people nationalized first, foremost. That is our number one directive. Nationality is the order of the day. Mother, what about surrogacy? Ooh, that's an interesting topic. My queen and I are considering this method to bring child forth. We are both conscious Moors. However, the most viable candidate to carry is Albion. Whoa. Would that have an... Yes, it would. Okay. Modern Europeans have been using our DNA in a multitudes of ways to hypothecate our vast estate. They ain't stopped doing it, and every medical type of procedure is also a way of doing that. Now here is the rub. Before we come here, we make agreements. Some of those agreements is, yeah, I want to have children. But some of those agreements is, no, I don't want to have children, which is might be why you're not having them. Plus, it could be a partnership issue in terms of blood, not in terms of anything else. Sometimes we come here and we say we don't want to have children, but we forget, because now we under subjugation and we under Roman colonialisms, and we don't treat to why we came here. We didn't come here to just sit here and kumbaya, y'all. We came here to do some work. We have a divine purpose for being birthed through the Stargate. And it's our responsibility to find what that is. And if you're not creating children through your Stargate, there is a particular reason why you're not doing that. You might have to learn something. You might have some issues medically that need to be corrected, and you will be able to. It could be any number of things. And the medical industry is not going to give you that information. They're going to sit here and try to push any type of service on you, because at the end of the day, they're commerce and they want fiat. So if you use surrogacy, now it depends on how you're using it. So what you're saying is, did you get an egg from an Albion woman inserted into your vagina, and is it being fertilized by you, the son, Asiatic son? Then that child is being carried by the Asiatic woman, but that does not give her, that's not her child. And blood's going to tell you, when a baby's born, she is going to not have the DNA of the mother because she's just housing it. That child is that egg. The egg is the child, y'all. Y'all feel how you gotta feel. When the egg comes down, I think it's 46 chromosomes for a woman. And I don't like going this deep into it, because I don't want you to sit here, take me and just go run with it. The man helps with sparking the woman's creative ability to create children. You help us spark that. You help us divide those cells to create a being. So that egg is already a being. When a woman is born, she is born with all the seeds she will ever have. She's born with them all, right? And when they keep pushing down, then if there's no spark of electricity to help that child create, it comes out through the menstruation. Every month. Women before, and still today, have these so-called virgin births. Now, if women have so-called virgin births, does a man create the child? I guess because we're here, I'm supposed to talk about this. There are villages where women have not been subjugated through colonialism and lost the power of creation. Not necessarily lost the power, because if we lost it, we wouldn't be able to do it. Not necessarily lost the power, forgot how to do it. We literally forgot how to do it by ourselves. We need support. Our men give us that support to create life. That's why they say the condition of the mother is the condition of the child, because the child comes from the mother, been sitting there with her waiting her whole life. And when she's not giving birth, it's going right through. Menstrual cycle. Cleaning it out, getting ready for next month. Maybe we'll have a baby next month. All right, no, clean it out. Maybe we'll have a baby next month. Clean it out. Maybe we'll have a baby next month. So you got to be careful going to these medical facilities and giving them your DNA, because they might just be telling you that. And it could be also time. you know, and y'all two together may have made an agreement prior to coming here. We come here with so much knowledge and we lose it all through social engineering. We lose it all. And I know this is a hot topic and we're going to be talking about this for a minute. But in order to put your child in under certain certain situations, it's easier to go through the trust. Protect them through the trust. And as a child, if you have custody and you can get them to do the thumbprint, but it's always best to get, mom is needed, y'all. Y'all's trying to circumvent and orphan out. Mom is needed. She needs to be given this information. And there has to be a reason why she's not accepting it. It could be because it's coming from you. And because your relationship is rocky at best, she don't trust you anymore. Because either you abandoned her, she abandoned you. Y'all wasn't, y'all had a some type of agreement that did not get fulfilled. I mean, we are so selfish people. We get into relationships and we let our anger and our frustrations and our emotions dictate our movements and our actions. And we don't treat to law and natural law at all. We don't even acknowledge it to a degree. I hear people say they can't stand the sun. They hide from the sun. They don't like nature. They don't like, I mean, our people are crazy, some of them. My father, who's this? So surrogacy, I wouldn't do surrogacy. I'm just telling you right now. That's a way for hypothecation of birthrights. I wouldn't do it. I know you want a child, adopt. There's 1,001 Asiatic children that need support in stable family homes. So I would treat to that avenue in terms of mother being a mother and a father. But I would not do surrogacy unless you're doing Asiatic. And even if you're doing Asiatic, she would have to kind of be within my same tribe, so I don't even mess that up. But then that's a lot of information you need prior to as well. So I would not do surrogacy through an Albion egg, which is what it sounds like you're considering, either Albion egg or Albion, but if it's or Albion so-called sperm. So that's an offline topic to talk about, for real, Eugene. I would prefer to talk to you in your Moabite offline about that decision. Also, the Albion is going to be actually carrying. So that means, yeah, you're using her to fertilize your eggs, and the child would not be Asiatic. The child would literally be an Albion because her mother is an Albion. And so therefore you're raising an Albion child as an Asiatic. Which ain't nothing wrong with that. Just couldn't get Asiatic descendancy. She would be, again, that child would be a part of your trust. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. I wouldn't do it. I would go find an Asiatic to carry your child. There's many of Asiatics that would do it. Why go with an Albion? You don't have to. Because the reality is, the reasons for the birthing centers and all of these different things is for them, because they've stopped reduplicating their heirs, which means their death rate is higher than their birth rate, which is why they say 2050 they will no longer be here if they don't mix into the main heirs, the Asiatics. They have to mix in. They have to if they want to survive. Because the reality is, if you got to go into some serious cultural, their creation type background before you do that, Eugene, and your wife. Before you consider that, do the ancestral heritage history background on Albions. Trust me, do that first before you consider that, because that's not I don't think that's a place you want to go down. And I'm saying this out of love. It's not out of hate. It's not out of vengeance. It's out of straight, get the facts before you do anything. And there's a lot of Asiatics that would help you breed individuals in. And you could have also decided not to have children because you wanted to be you wanted to adopt. You know what I'm saying? Adopt. There are so many Asiatic babies that need support from us, and they're in foreigners' hands because we don't want our own children. It's y'all gonna get it in terms of all this information that is out here. So my father and my family name is Moore. Really? Oh, but I don't know my mother. So does that mean I'm not a Moore? What you mean you don't know your mother? You have to clarify that, Donovan. What you mean you don't know your mother? And Donovan, is that a female's name? Let me think. Don't be happily married, been together 28 years. Donovan, you're saying you're happily married and you've been together for 28 years with your Asiatic. So now you're saying my father and my family name is Moore. But you got to keep in mind, let me tell you about our ancestors. Through my ancestral research, which I'm still doing offline, finding our families and our true names is a very difficult thing because slavery and subjugation was so hot, as well as classisms going on in our own Asiatic communities. We were so scared, and we were changing our names, all types of fictitious names. Let me tell you, I got so many last names that are not even treating to my bloodline. Not to mention, many families, because of patriarchal societies, was running through the father, keeping track of the father's lineage, but forgetting the mother. And she is truly where your ancestry comes from, not your father. I was like, so a lot of our ancestral research is bad because we're going through our father and not through our matriarchal line. And that's the line you go through. Your navel, what birthed you, is determining your descendancy. So, what's up?
Hey. What's up?
What's up? My apologies. My boss came in. Sorry, I'm unsure of my mother's heretical background. I went through my father. Yes, I went. Yeah, we all do that. We all did that. We were so, and then we had to redirect. Like, oh, wait a minute, let me go redirect and go through my mother's ancestry. And then there's such breaks because even she didn't keep track of her ancestry. She went straight through her father. So in a lot of cases, for you to find out, see, the reality is you are what your mother is, and your blood treats to your descendancy. But where was I going with that? Your blood treats to your descendancy, and your Moorish, your nationality is more, right? And there's ways to find this out, but I'm going to put it all here. I'm trying not to put it all here. Every time I get on this live feed, I get a bunch of calls, just so you know, and they keep interrupting. So the point that I'm trying to make is that if you're unsure of your matriarchal lines, you can do the blood test. I don't like the blood test because I don't like giving people my DNA. They have enough of it. They don't get any more from me. I don't want people with my blood. I don't want people running around acting as if they're me, because this is what they've been using our blood, our organs, all to hypothecate us, to find a way to keep taking from us. So stop giving them stuff. And talk to your grandparents. What about your grandmother? Do you not know who your grandmother is? Like, we orphan a lot of people in through a lot of different ways. And just like Expatriation Act, if you don't know your descendancy, if you don't know where your descendancy is, you're automatically a Moorish subject. And law treats to that. But you can't call yourself black, and you can't call yourself white, because you're calling yourself a brand, and you're taking yourself outside of family and natural law, which supports you completely. Yes, I went through my father. Yeah, we all did that. My father, for my ancestry, I was in, they traveled down from South Carolina. I think a lot of people after after slavery was moving from those territories and coming further down to the north, because a lot of us was, even if we were originally from the north before we were subjugated, was pushed up to the south, because that's where they kind of pushed many of us Asiatics out of our ancestral lands to the south, to the plantations. And then once slavery was over, for those people who could leave, they were coming back down from the south to the north, because it was a lot more less subjugation, even though it was still subject, you were still very subjugated. They had those black codes in the South, and they were like really strictly enforcing those black codes in the South. And even though they so-called freed the slaves in terms of living on the plantations and being subject to the plantations, they subject them to the counties and the boroughs and the states. And they weren't able to freely move. I was like, it's so much heritage that you need to find out. But in terms of the purpose of me coming on here is treating to children. If you can get the mother to nationalize the children through her affidavits and writs, put them all listed in there. I did the first person. I'm at the first family together this week. Actually, it was a mother who had 3 children, and in her one affidavit and writ, we listed all 3 of her children, their new appellations tied in, as well as she's gonna sign as their mother, but then she's going to put their thumbprint as confirmation to that. So that's the way we want it to work, unfortunately. We want the mothers to nationalize the children, but if they won't do that for them, if the children are of a particular age and kin, and you can talk to them about it and they agree to it, do it through the children. And I wouldn't go beyond 13, maybe 16. I was like, but if they're younger, talk to the mother, and if you can't get her to agree, then I think we might have to put them in the trust as protected under the trust. So then you would have to literally become their, in terms of wording, their custodial parent, because the mother is still under wardship status. You know what I'm kind of saying? I was like, but we working on this. We literally are working on this. And you have to send photos like this. I would take a picture just like this with my nationality paper. Don't take a picture of a picture. Take a picture of that actual living being at right now. I was like, because we need to have pictures. That's what you're going to have to send in for verification of your status with the Moorish American Consulate, so we can, you know, so if something was to ever happen to you, we got, first of all, a current picture of you, and we can come and identify and reclaim you if you get taken through these corporate institutions. Do you understand what I'm kind of trying to say? I was like, so if you have questions on this type of stuff, you can inbox me through Messenger. We can have a little conversation about it to give you a little bit more ease and clarity. Mothers, when you do your proclamations and you have children, we're going to do you through family. We're not going to do you individually unless your children are of age, like 18 or above, or they want to go under you in your what do you call it? Your nationality. They want to go under you and they're older, right? Mother, do them. And they can go under the father if you're, but that's like, I would only do it if they're of age. And everybody's got to have a photo so we can make sure, you know, there's no more hypothecating and claiming heirship which you don't have claim over. That's kind of like what they say Queen Elizabeth doing, trying to claim she's a direct descendant of Muhammad. There's one way to easily find that out. Very, very easy way. I was like, but people can claim a lot of things. Blood tells the truth. Your blood tells the truth. You can lie all you want. Asiatic, Aboriginal, Albion. Blood tells the truth. It's not going to tell you what particular tribe. It might even tell you what particular tribe you are. Because I know some people take 23andMe, get that done, get the results, and then they go and give it to an actual individual who can link you based on his research. I ain't going to put his name out there. Can tell you what particular Asiatic tribe you come from, whether it's Chickasaw, Washita, Seminole, Cherokee. They can kind of tell you which particular tribe because you have dual nationality. Your Moorish nationality puts you on the soil. Your tribal puts you within a particular family. And right now, we try to put you on the soil. Because right now you lost that C. So we're doing that first. That's the first order of business. Nationality is the order of the day. And if I've made myself clear, I would love to hear some feedback. So if you want to message me and kind of talk to me in my messenger, that'd be great. So we can kind of talk about this and start really treating to natural law. And again, you are what your mother is. So start doing your family lineal tracing through your mother. You can do both. I do both. Like my dad's side and my mom's side. They're both equally important. They're both equally important. But your ancestry runs through your mother. And the first mother was an Asiatic on this land, on this earth. That's why you have airship over the whole earth. Asiatics over the whole thing, because you were here first. Everybody else came later. And I'm gonna leave you to ponder that. If you want some information, Donovan, in regards to ancestry, Albion ancestry, as well as some research, there's so much information out there in books, in literature, and to give you some background, not only of us, but of where they come from. Because you Islam family, y'all have a great day.